me, Michelle Cheen from the Wisdom Seeker Society, and my favorite astrologer, Sue Brain.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to see you in the sunshine.
Yes, hurrah!
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Sue, we've got exciting news. We are hosting you presenting a basic astrology course within the Wisdom Seekers in September, and I'm very excited. Give us a quick kind of overview as
Okay.
to what are you bringing us?
Okay, so this is perfect for absolute beginners. You've all got to start somewhere. And there's so much out there about astrology. And I think some people are going to go, I don't know where to start. I don't know I don't know where to go or help. So this is an absolute the building blocks of what you need to do to understand the basics of reading a chart.
Mm.
And my whole ethos is about after these eight classes is to inspire you then to go on with your astrological journey. So this is very much the first sip of wine, if you like. So you'll be learning. You'll be learning all about your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascendant. And your ascendant is the kind of how you show up in life. And then we'll be looking at the 12 houses, and then we'll be looking at the planets, the 11 planets. So very, very basic. We'll be looking at the aspects. But again, this is, as I said, it isn't for intermediate students, and it's certainly not for advanced. But if you've no idea where to go, or you want to start and you're drawn to it and you're scared to know what to do, this is the class for you. I adore questions. And do you know what? I'm learning alongside you as well, because every time I run this class, a student will ask me questions and I just go, wow, that's a cool question. So just come and enjoy it. There's no homework, there's no pressure. It's you show up and we take it from there. But by the end of the 8 weeks, you will have a good first building block understanding of astrology. And my prayer is that you will get the bug.
Yes, mine too. And it's a small group,
Yes.
taking 10 maximum and 8 weeks on Zoom, hour and a half once a week.
Yeah.
And questions and engagement and interaction
Fun. Just
and fun.
have some fun and
Yeah.
engage with it and learn something different and new. And do you know what? Learn something about yourself.
And that's it. And this is a aspect that comes up quite a lot because I'm fascinated by astrology. I've always, since I've been at school, planets and their movements and how they affect us. But what do we get from astrology according to you? Like what does it bring us to understand these aspects, houses and planets and where they influence us maybe?
Yes, it's a lovely question, that, isn't it? Because it's so yummy. For me, my astrology chart, when
Mm,
I started to understand my astrology chart, just gave me, and it's like a map.
mm,
It's like a door opening, and then you just go, oh God, that's why I'm like I am,
mm.
or that's why this plays out in my life. So it gives you a chance to be conscious of the energies that you're carrying. Now, we don't exactly know how astrology works, but it seems that we carry some form of energetic imprint of the planetary energies in our body. I'm not going to go into that because
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there, but
Yeah.
that's what it seems to be.
Mm,
And I feel it's almost like that we carry this energy. Now, this brings up big question: do we have free will? Because are the planets controlling us?
yeah.
And you could look at it like that, because at the moment of your birth,
Yeah.
your chart is set in it,
Yeah.
that's wherever the planets are in the heavens. That is like your set of cards that you've been dealt with this life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is understanding your astrology chart does, it gives you the opportunity to know how to play those cards the best way you can. It gives you a head start. If you understand yourself, you understand your matrix, if you like, you can then start becoming much more conscious. And when you're kind of going, you sort of you can tell when you're falling into a negative thought belief, a negative pattern, or a behavior,
Mm.
and you can just catch yourself and just go, I don't need to do that. But
Yeah.
you need to know who you are first. You need to know your chart. You need to meet yourself. And the trouble is, we're meeting everyone out in the world,
Mm.
but we haven't met ourselves. And
Yes.
that's what astrology, understanding your astrology chart does. It enables you to meet yourself. What a gift. Because, you know, if you think over the temple at Adelphi was know thyself.
Yeah.
That was it. It wasn't even love yourself. It was know thyself.
Yeah.
Is the greatest gift that you can give yourself is to put the time and the energy into knowing who you are, and then you can go into the world with feeling far more confident.
Mm. And it's for me, it's almost kind of a a language that the universe is using to kind of communicate with us. Maybe even from past lives, there's aspects to our chart that shows up as to kind of where we come from and where we're going through the south to the north node. There's things like why am I so affected by certain things and others aren't, and that often shows up in your chart, or
Yes.
kind of makes a lot of sense when you go in there, to understand not just patterns but also themes in your life. I think through the
Yes.
houses and through the planetary alignments, but you know it's never giving up. That is how it's set. It's more, how do I engage?
Yes.
There's
That's
more involvement.
that's free will choice. But you know, the
Mm.
thing is that if you don't know yourself, you often, and I know this happened for me when I was much younger and I hadn't engaged with who I was. I really hadn't. And I was I was completely unconscious about
Mm.
how to deal with my you know when you don't know who you are. You just
Yeah,
know I have no idea who I am. And
yeah.
that's a really scary place to be. And the
Mm.
free choice is to engage with, oh, this is who I am. Okay. So
Mm.
now I can work. Now I can work better with life. And
Mm.
these are my offerings to life. If you see, this is what
Mm.
I can I can give. And I think I feel very I don't know if this sad is the right word, but I feel for young, particularly younger people today in this crazy world that is full of technology and social media and celebrities that are coming out of every corner,
Yeah.
and this sort of thing. I need to be out there. I need to be seen. I need to be, and of course, that is not everybody's life.
No.
And a lot of people are here not to do that.
Mm.
The conditioning that we are being subjected to is so intense
Mm.
about being seen. And I think that's what astrology can help you, is to understand exactly sort of, where does my heart lie?
Mm.
Am I lying to myself? Am I trying to be somebody I am not? And it's about that wonderful thing about becoming the round peg in the round hole rather
Yeah.
than the round peg in the square hole. And
Yeah.
it's when you really start, I believe, becoming a successful person. It's when
Mm.
you become authentic and you go, this is who I am.
Yeah, and that authenticity comes from that inner connection as to the all the bits. And
Yes.
I have been very interested in Chiron, as I've always been interested in Chiron. As in myth, it's seen as the wounded healer. It's done all this stuff for these people because it is so understanding. It's got this compassion because it's been through it. It has a level of understanding. And Chiron is going retrograde, it just gone retrograde. it's kind of giving us this aspect of looking within. It's also connecting us. I read an interesting piece yesterday that it's placing, which I never realized before, is between Saturn and Uranus, and how it's kind of a connector between this material Saturn and the spiritual Uranus space, kind of grounding us, not in a wounding, in a bad way. You know, it's kind of that Japanese art form where
Yes,
they fill in the
yes.
cracks with the gold. You know, it kind of brings it back to that for me a bit.
Okay, so I work with Chiron as the sacred wound.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think if you understand that Chiron is here to teach us about the human condition,
Mm,
and that we're all in it together, that we're not being singled out and persecuted. We're not.
mm,
However painful things are, we're not. We're learning. Chiron it's a profound teacher. It actually goes beyond teaching to becoming the mentor. The Chiron is actually the archetype of the wounded healer mentor.
mm,
When we learn about our sacred wound, when we learn that however it expresses itself, that we are part of the human condition, that this is part of life's journey,
mm.
that the suffering and pain is part of life's journey because it teaches us to love ourselves. A hard journey. I'm not saying this is an easy
Yeah,
task, but
yeah.
why are we here? In the
Exactly.
separation from the universe,
Yeah.
and that is the sacred wound, is being separated out from the love
Mm,
of the universe into individual bodies, and being this sort of sense of separation, loss,
mm,
yearning. And I
mm,
think what on a metaphysical level, for me, as you say, Chiron is this asteroid which is between Saturn, and Saturn is the archetype of let's get grounded, do
yeah.
the work, hard work, being here on the planet in a body,
Yeah,
separated.
yeah.
We're in separate bodies. We are. Yes, I'm sure, we all are together, but we have to do this life in our body separately.
Mm,
And Uranus, which we can't see because it's a transpersonal planet, it's beyond sight. And Uranus is absolutely the planet of incredible inspirational thoughts,
mm,
and this and yes, shocks and surprises,
yeah.
absolutely. But it's this sense of wanting to ascend, wanting to connect with the divine, wanting to connect with the universe, going home, if you like. And
Yeah.
that's what I think Chiron holds, this sacred, I don't know how to, I'm searching for the words, this sacred expression of being in a physical reality and being attuned to a divine reality, or if that doesn't work, the divine doesn't work, universal reality.
Which is a beautiful metaphor, really, for the message from through astrology, is kind of to that illusion of separation,
Yeah.
because it is an illusion.
Yes.
And our theme in the Wisdom Seekers this month is all around. Words are very limiting for me. So
Yeah.
even saying, love thyself or
Yeah.
self-love feels so overused and almost um not deep enough, but it is really connecting to self. And the
Yes.
moon is teaching us a lot around this as well. In August, we
Yes.
have a new moon in Leo, and then we're moving into a full moon in Aquarius. So tell us a little bit about how
Yeah.
that anchors us in this.
Before I do that, I just wanted to, I feel really strongly about this. It
Mm,
is not an illusion that we are living in separate bodies. It
mm,
is not an illusion. It's
yeah,
utter reality.
yeah.
And I struggle around that it's an illusion, because it isn't, because you tell anyone who's struggling with their pain
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
illusion.
No, what I mean is the illusion of separation from the bigger picture. So the illusion lies in that we are part of the universe.
Yes,
In our separate bodies, in
yes,
our
yes,
separate forms, we
yeah,
are still connected to each other and to the
yes.
universe and to the planets and this planet specifically as well
Well,
in our
this is our
separation.
learning. This is our learning. Physical. We have to be in a physical body.
Yeah,
We have to be
yeah,
to for whatever reason to work through this stuff. For
yeah,
whatever reason, we need physical bodies, and we need
mm,
the physical reality in our separateness.
yeah,
And I think the growth, the journey, the whatever you want to call it, and this is so apt for the themes of the lunations in
yeah,
August, is this sense of it's love, and
mm,
it's attuning to love. And we're so limited in our ability to love on this planet, but that you sometimes you can touch it, sometimes you can feel that love of the universe flow
yeah.
through. That's our healing journey.
And that's for me where that separation lies. That we through our journey and through maybe our choice of being in this earth school in this physical form in this on this journey, we have to be separated in a way for us to be able to experience it. Experience is the word I was looking for. But in essence, we are still connected, So it's kind of moving,
Yeah.
and as you say, this lunation kind of shows us that quite a lot as to the Leo aspect of the new moon, seeing me and myself.
Well, I mean, Leo. So Leo's the new moon's on the 4th of August. So it's a
Yeah.
very interesting. Leo is all about me.
Mm. Yeah.
I want to shine my light. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want lots of it's me, and I want to be very creative. I want to go off
Yeah.
and just do lovely things. And I think that's absolutely it's a wonderful quality, because we all need that Leo quality, because life can get pretty hard and a bit hard work, and
Yeah.
that Leo side of us just sparks all of that spontaneity, the courage to go out there and be seen, to be heard, and to stand on tables and do, and to do
Yeah.
flips. That's absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. Me. And it's very creative, I think. And also, Leos are leaders. So,
Mm.
they don't, Leos don't normally sit around doing nothing. They normally, in some aspect of their life somewhere, that they will be Leos. They're also, they're very, Leo is the king and the queen.
Yeah.
So they're sovereign as well. So they do like telling people what to do.
But it's that lion energy for me quite a lot. And the
Yes.
sun is in Leo as well at the moment. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of Leo energy around.
Well, if you think about it, in this period between the full moon in July and the new moon here, this
Yeah.
period is called first fruits moon. Isn't that lovely?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is when things are beginning to the summer is beginning to tip. It tips
Mm.
in August. There's a around
Mm.
about the middle of August, you can feel the air changing, the warmth of the what warmth we've had
Yeah.
this. You can feel it. There's a change as it
Yeah.
starts to tip into autumn.
Yeah.
So there is this sense of first fruits and the celebration of that, which is absolutely lovely.
Mm.
So yes, I think what's interesting in this new moon is that Venus and Leo love each other, because
Yeah.
she wants to adorn herself
Yeah.
with what nature is giving her, and she's at 29 degrees Leo.
Okay.
29 degrees is a really intense degree regarded in astrology. So there is something about, yes, an intensity as well, and to do with how how we love ourselves, if you like. Again, let's go back to your theme.
Yeah.
Venus love, intensity, real intense degree in Leo, me. So
Mm.
there is that vibe going on as well. At the same time, Mercury is going retrograde on the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, he just goes into a Virgo, and then he starts going back, and he's going to go back and not go direct till the end of till the 28th. Now,
Of August, yeah.
what I called hysterical about Leo going retrograde,
The Mercury.
going retrograde. I don't buy into that. I mean, if you know,
No.
yes, okay, there may be some delays and whatever, and you just be a bit more cautious about signing agreements or stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that say I won't get out of bed with if I mean that might not be taking it to extremes. But just be sensible. It
Well,
is
Mercury,
retrograde. It's
yeah,
retrograde a lot.
a lot, a lot. And I think it's
Time.
become one of those um, mainstream kind of astrological things. Oh, Mercury's retrograde, so everything's technology is not going to work, and communication, and this and that and that, and it is
Maybe
also
not.
the trickster planet, isn't it? So it's quite apt that it might just be tricking you a little bit, and you need to be a bit more.
I just don't buy into all of that at all. I just
Yeah,
my life, and just if something goes back, I'll just notice it.
yeah,
Maybe if you're traveling because it's Mercury, that
yeah,
he's the god of travel. Just take a bit more aware. But I mean, everything's in chaos anyway when you go to an airport, so you're not
exactly.
going to be able to blame that on
No.
Mercury. Well,
No,
and
that's
also the roads are absolutely packed with people going on holiday.
yeah,
So, just be
yeah.
cautious. Yeah.
It also affects certain people differently, doesn't it?
Yes.
Mercury specifically, I've been quite like kind of looking at people, and some people just it doesn't affect them at all. Other people,
Yeah.
whether they're aware or not, or obsessed, some other people are very obsessed
Yeah.
about not, doing
Yeah.
stuff because Mercury's retrograde.
Yeah.
And that's also got to do with your chart.
Well, I think if you're Mercury ruled signs, or it's going over your ascendant, or the angles,
mm,
ascendant, descendant, midheaven. I don't know. I
yeah,
to be honest with you, I've never put much attention into it, and I know a lot of other people do. So you've
yeah,
got to do what's right for you.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So then we roll on to
yeah,
the lovely full moon, which is, of course, in tradition, it's called the harvest moon.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that. And this
yeah,
time it's so the full moon is in Aquarius. That means the moon is in Aquarius.
mm,
And the sun, obviously, is in Leo.
yeah.
So we've had a new moon in Leo, and now we've got a full moon opposite,
In
right
Aquarius.
opposite
Mm,
the sun in Leo, which is, so it's about the Aquarian. It brings up, and I find this really interesting, it kind of brings up this sense of humanitarianism, of
mm,
group,
mm,
of uh of how can I be me within the context, and within the context of the greater whole, of how can I offer who I am as part of this, of 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 sort of setting, of offering what I can
mm,
within the group context without losing who I am. Because when we go into group, Aquarian doesn't want to be me, it wants to
yeah.
be us. It
Mm,
wants to be we, and it wants to be us. It wants to network. It wants to create utopia, actually.
mm. But so it's interesting, these two kind of, first I find me and now I become part of the group. Or
Yes. Or
yeah.
how do I do that? So the question is, how can I, or we, reconcile our personal needs with those of the group? That's the question for this month.
Yeah, I
And
like
I
that.
think it's because of what's happening in the world today, we need to
Yeah.
really pay attention to that
As ourselves
as ourselves.
first,
Yes.
not as,
The group.
you know, not to be swept up by the
Yes.
fear and the whatever, but to first ground myself, and then I can be
Yes.
a,
Yes.
a more connected part of the collective.
The collective. And I'm doing it for the collective. I'm not doing it for myself only.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I think it's going to be a very interesting full moon because it's square to Uranus.
Mm.
So as we know, Uranus has been very active in in July. We've had some very interesting experiences when Mars conjuncted Uranus. I think the outage and the riots and oh god,
Assassination attempt. Um,
whatever.
Biden stepped down in the US,
Yeah,
just on the
stuff
Capricornian moon. It
happened.
was, yeah, there was a lot
Stuff
happening.
happened.
Mm,
And then Camilla Harris, and you know, suddenly out of the blue, all this stuff is happening, and we're going.
mm.
So I think there is more to come.
Yeah,
So we don't know how this is going to manifest. We never do. I think it's really important that astrology is not a fortune telling tool. It's
yeah,
not.
no,
It presents themes, and the
yeah,
theme is, for me, Aquarius. Uranus rules Aquarius.
yeah,
It's a full moon in Aquarius. There are going to be some more upheaval, more surprises, more things coming out. I'll tell you what Aquarius loves. It loves universal truth.
mm, mm,
So there may be some shocking things going up around that. Mercury is retrograde. It might be bringing up stuff as well, details,
mm.
stuff around more shocks and revelations. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but I
No,
think that's going to be quite an interesting time. And also, we have, of course, the square between Saturn square Jupiter going
yeah,
on. It's the first
yeah,
square since they came together. They first came together at kind of 29 degrees, 0 degrees Aquarius 20 years ago, in the pandemic in 2020. That was
okay.
when they met. And, you know, Pluto's sitting there at the moment. So
Mm.
stuff,
Could
there's,
be interesting. Yeah.
there's stuff going
This
on. We're not done.
no, and I mean we wouldn't be
Done.
done yet, would we? Would-
No.
um, there's also a Mars conjunct Jupiter in Gemini.
Yes, that's, I always look at that as hot words.
Okay.
There could
Okay.
be arguments, there could be
Mm,
that, there could be, Mars triggers things. So there
mm,
could be, I don't know, an explosion, an expansion of the way we communicate with each other. But what I'd say to everyone is just be really careful on social media.
mm,
There's a lot of stuff going on up there that is not helpful, and you can get sucked in it because it's drama. And
yeah.
uh, Gemini is duplicitous. It
Yeah.
likes
It
that.
can-
It likes it likes the drama of that in the now.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to get sucked down rabbit holes, then just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's up to you. That's, you know, decide how you want to communicate. But
Mm,
Mars triggers in Jupiter an expansion in Gemini of, I think, hot words.
mm. And with Mercury retrograde most of the
Yeah.
month, we don't want to mess around with that kind of
Not
communication.
really. No, it's just
No.
taking, I think what Saturn and Jupiter, the square, is
Mm,
really saying, take responsibility
mm,
for yourself. Saturn's in Pisces. Saturn
mm,
wants to manifest things. It wants to, what can you manifest spiritually? how can you support yourself spiritually in a form of manifestation? That may be yoga, it could be,
Mm,
I don't go going on retreat. I mean, whatever fills you, but you ground your spirituality, and it's
mm,
squaring this Jupiter. So I
mm.
just think there's this, what is your spiritual vision? Jupiter loves, it's all about philosophy, truth,
Yeah.
wisdom, and it's there's a square, there's a challenge going on here. So what are your belief systems? How can you're being challenged to really think about morality.
Mm,
What works for you and what doesn't? Are you shocked by what's going on? And
yeah.
if you are, how do you, what can you do for yourself to support yourself? Because a lot of us are experiencing life and we're not complicit. We have not agreed to what's going on. We have,
No, no, yeah. But we can still ground ourselves, as you
yes,
say. And
absolutely.
that brings us back to kind of how do I reconcile
Yeah,
who I
yes,
am and how I see myself um in this group,
yes,
in this bigger picture. Um, because I do have a voice, and you
yes.
I am I am a um physical form of something that is experiencing itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're a physical form of the universe in
yeah,
the divine, whatever expression that is.
yeah.
So for me, I say to a lot of people is about feeding the zeitgeist, the collective, with something positive.
Mhm.
Don't
That's
feed the beast. It's full of fear and gossip,
yeah, yeah,
conspiracy theories and drama. Don't
yeah.
feed that. Just take a step back, take a breath, and
Mm,
go, how can I bring more peace into my life within
mm,
within the backdrop of this utter chaos that we're
mm.
experiencing and will continue to experience for a while yet.
Yeah. And that's a perfect way to end this. May we all be grounded in who we are and know that we're in this together, because we are in this together. Um, and yeah, let us know how you experience this time, and do love yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. And attune to the universal love because
Mm,
it's got oodles of it for you.
yeah, it's all conspiring in your good, for your good.
It is. It's there
Yeah.
for you. Just need to tune into it.